Continuing from the previous episode 642. Chapter 1571. Borrowing Jade. Da. Pills poured down from all over the sky and landed on the square, emitting a clear rain droplet-like sound. This kind of pills might not be considered medicinal pills, but they are formed from pure energy. Consuming it would be greatly beneficial to one's body. Xiao Yan's body was suspended in the sky. Even with his calmness, his eyes involuntarily revealed an expression of wild joy. He had heard about the phrase, pill rain descend, mysterio pill appears. However, it was the first time he had personally witnessed such a mysterious scene. It has actually really succeeded. Xiao Yan received a medicinal pill with his hand, which trembled slightly. This result had completely exceeded his expectations. Even with his current ability, his chances of success in refining a Tier 9 mysterious pill would not exceed 40%. However, if one was to really discuss about this pill refinement, there was indeed some element of luck within it. A medicinal pill contained the energy of 4 embryonic pills. This kind of matter could be described as extremely rare. The 4 embryonic pills contained various different medicinal properties. Although most of the medicinal strength had been turned into pure energy after Little Yi's refinement, there was still a trace of medicinal property lingering within it. These slight medicinal properties would merge into Xiao Yan's embryonic pill and mix together. Adding the fierce refinement by the purifying demonic lotus flame, it had underwent a slight change that no one could expect. The result of that change seemed to have made up for some imperfection within the embryonic pill and result in the successful refinement of this pill. If any one of these various coincidences were to be not exist, it was likely that even if Xiao Yan had absorbed the energy from the 3 embryonic pills, he would likely end up failing. However, there was no ifs in this world. Everyone present would not bother about this kind of imaginary ifs. They could see with their own eyes that Xiao Yan had actually successfully refined a Tier 9 mysterious pill. The Tier 9 mysterious pill, which no one had successfully refined in hundreds of years, had descended in front of their very own eyes. Rumble. The black lightning like huge python wildly shuttled through the thick dark clouds in the sky. That ferocious heavenly might caused the necks of many to shrink. They were afraid that the black thunderbolt would descend onto their heads. Bang! The 1,000 feet large fire cauldron suddenly trembled while dark clouds churned in the sky. Immediately, a light pillar erupted into the sky. It was vaguely possible to see an egg-like light cluster within the light pillar. The enormous light pillar was inserted into the thunderclouds in front of many pairs of eyes. Immediately, the thundercloud churned intensely. Many black lightning lingered around the light pillar in a densely packed manner like some howling black pythons. Finally, they ruthlessly smashed towards the cluster of light egg within the light pillar. Bang bang bang! This earth-shaking like strike caused even the entire Medicine Mountain to tremble. A deafening sound continued to appear unceasingly. Xiao Yan's expression was anxious as he looked at the cluster of light egg under the lightning that covered the sky. Within it was the Tier 9 mysterious pill. Once it experienced this lightning tribulation, it would be able to break out and appear. No one was able to aid it in such a matter. Even Xiao Yan could only choose to observe from the side. A Tier 9 mysterious pill was different from other medicinal pills, which allowed others to block the pill lightning. This kind of mysterious pill required the energy within the lightning to allow them to become completely perfect. Under Xiao Yan's anxious eyes, the cluster of light egg within the light pillar not only did not shatter but had instead become even brighter. Traces of black lightning arcs continued to flash over the egg. Crack! Those wild and fierce explosions continued for over 10 minutes before it gradually showed signs of weakening. The lightning had only just weakened when a slight cracking sound was emitted from the egg. Everyone immediately felt their hearts shook. Their eyes stared intently at the egg. It was possible to see a small crack line suddenly spreading on its surface. Crack crack crack. After the appearance of the first crack line, a domino effect seemed to have been created. An increasing number of crack lines appeared on the egg. Trace of light seeped out from within, causing the egg to be filled with a glaring light. Boom! A black thunderbolt suddenly rushed down from the sky just as the crack lines gradually covered the egg. It ruthlessly smashed onto the egg itself. Immediately, the many crack lines suddenly spread. Finally, it emitted a bang, and finally exploded apart. A shocking medicinal fragrance spread in the sky the moment the egg exploded. The medicinal fragrance lingered and agglomerated into the shape of many medicinal herbs, which covered the sky. This appeared extremely mysterious. Swoosh! A light figure suddenly flashed and appeared in the sky while everyone were absent-minded because of this unusual scene in the sky. Immediately, it swiftly rushed out of the medicine mountain with lightning-like speed. The rich medicinal fragrance behind it was so dense that it also appeared to have a form. That is the Tier 9 mysterious pill. It is actually intending to escape. The entire mountain turned into an uproar after this light figure appeared. Countless of people suddenly stood up. Their eyes were heated as they looked at the light figure in the sky. Greed surged from deep within their eyes. There was hardly anyone who could remain calm in the face of the temptation from a Tier 9 mysterious pill. Humph! However, an icy cold snort resounded over the sky while greed rose in some people's hearts. This immediately caused their hearts to turn cold. They woke up and hurriedly and quickly withdrew their feet, which was about to step forward. It was likely that trying to snatch the Tier 9 mysterious pill from the hands of someone who had defeated the chief of the Hall of Soul was not a simple task. A pair of green-red bone wings appeared behind Xiao Yan after deterring these people who were ready to cause trouble. His body moved and he appeared in front of the light figure. His hand slammed forward in the process. Yellow spring palm, an enormous energy handprint suddenly descended from the sky while being accompanied an intense wind pressure. It ruthlessly smashed onto the light figure. The handprint scattered the light on the surface of the figure. A trembling naked figure appeared in front of everyone's eyes. The figure had long black hair with a delicate and gentle beautiful body. Those pretty large eyes contained some horror as they looked at Xiao Yan. That pitiful appearance stirred the protective desire of many people. It already knows how to use this method to confuse others after having just been born. A Tier 9 mysterious pill really lives up to its reputation. Xiao Yan's eyes were surprised as he looked at the naked beautiful lady. However, he simply laughed softly and said, "A medicinal pill does not have any gender. You have turned into this appearance of yours a moment ago, right?" After hearing Xiao Yan's words, the originally pitiful-looking beauty was immediately startled. Her body pulled back hurriedly. Xiao Yan took a stride forward and directly appeared in front of the lady. He pointed with his finger and it landed on his forehead with lightning-like speed. A spiritual imprint appeared, following which, the lovely figure of the lady trembled and it gradually became illusory. Finally, it turned into a round medicinal pill the size of a dragon eye with various unusually fragrance lingering over it. Xiao Yan took out a jade bottle from within his storage ring. After placing a few layers of spiritual seals on it, he finally carefully placed this Tier 9 mysterious pill inside. This pill had an extremely vast and mighty energy. Unfortunately, it did not know how to use it. Otherwise, even Xiao Yan would not have such an easy time subduing it. Seeing this, Xiao Yan placed the medicinal pill into his storage ring. Many people below revealed an expression of disappointment. However, the former ignored them. He turned around and looked at Han Huzi, who was still engaged in an intense battle with the Northern King. He involuntarily laughed and waved his hand. The Northern King pulled back and floated beside him with indifferent eyes. "Ha ha, thank you for the gift." Xiao Yan laughed and cupped his hands together towards Han Huzi, Old Man Shen Nong and Elder Wanwo after having kept the Northern King. Old Man Shen Nong and Elder Wanwo smiled faintly upon hearing this. However, Han Huzi's expression was distorted. He did not expect that the embryonic pill, which he had bitterly refined for a couple of days, had ended up aiding Xiao Yan. There are talents in every generation. Young friend Xiao Yan's accomplishment in terms of alchemist skills is really breathtaking. It is likely that no one in this alchemist world will be able to compare with you. You are indeed worthy of being the top alchemist. Old Man Shen Nong beckoned with his hand. The green sea of flame in the sky turned into a medicinal herbs walking stick and appeared in his hand. He glanced at Xiao Yan and laughed. This Yao Chen is indeed taught an incredible disciple. If I have known this, I would not have allowed Yao Wangyi to randomly do as he pleased back then. The many elders from the Yao clan had complicated expressions upon hearing these words. They looked at each other and could only sigh quietly. Regardless of how proud they were, they had no choice but to admit this at this moment. Clan head Yao Dan, Xiao Yan still have another request to make today. Xiao Yan glanced at Yao Lao. After which, he looked at Yao Dan on the leader's chair, cupped his hands together and said, "I know what you wish to say." Yao Dan's expression was a little complicated. He sighed softly, glanced towards Yao Lao and said, "Yao Chen, from today onwards, You are perhaps the most outstanding talent within the Yao clan. You can leave whatever you like on the clan tablet. Thank you, clan head Yao Dan. Yao Lao's hand trembled gently. His long-cherished wish was finally realized at this moment. Even with his calmness, his heart was still extremely excited. Ha ha, clan head Yao Dan, I also have a request to make today. Hun Huzi in the sky suddenly opened his mouth and laughed with a strange expression the moment Xiao Yan sighed in relief. Oh. Yao Dan frowned slightly. He looked at Hun Huzi's expression. A caution surged into his heart. Please speak. The smile on Hun Huzi's face became even stranger upon seeing this. He licked his mouth. His next words, however, caused the expressions of everyone to change drastically. I wish to temporarily borrow the 2 Shi ancient god Jade from the hands of the Yao clan. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Continuing from the previous episode 643. Chapter 1572. Shocking Change. A rock stirring a giant wave. After Hun Huzi uttered these words, the stadium, which had turned into an uproar because of the birth of the Tier 9 mysterious pill, became completely silent. The expressions of all the elders from the Yao clan turned gloomy at that instant. A cold glow flashed within their eyes. Each of the 8 ancient clans had one part of the 2 Shi ancient god Jade respectively. All of the clans treated it as a great treasure and kept it safe. Even an ordinary elder would not be able to see it. This matter might not appear unusual in the eyes of those who were unaware of it, but those who did looked at Hun Huzi as though they were watching a lunatic. How would it be possible for the Yao clan to loan such a treasure to him? Could it be that this person had gone crazy? This fellow. Xiao Yan knitted his brow tightly as he looked at Hun Huzi. The strange smile on the latter's face caused him to feel that something was not quite right. Uttering such words to the Yao clan was undoubtedly challenging the prestige of the Yao clan. Given this fellow's Tier 6 Do Sheng class strength, it was impossible for him to escape from the hands of Yao Dan. Something is not quite right? Xiao Yan's many years of experience had also allowed him to become extremely sensitive. He felt that something was not quite right. This Hun Huzi was not a fool. He should understand just what kind of treatment he would receive from the Yao clan by uttering such words. Yet, he was unafraid. Xiao Yan's heart involuntarily sunk slightly after he thought of this. His body moved and he appeared beside Yao Lao. His expression was grave as he softly said, "Be careful." Yao Lao also nodded gravely. He could sense that this Hun Huzi was a little strange. Elder Wanwo's expression was dark and solemn as he stood in the sky. His eyes were filled with murderous intent as he looked at Hun Huzi. Once Yao Dan gave the order, he would immediately attack with all his strength and kill this person, who dared to challenge the prestige of the Yao clan in front of so many people. Hun Huzi, do you know what you are saying? Yao Dan looked at Hun Huzi in the sky from his leader's seat without any expression. However, there was a sharp chill flashing over his eyes. His voice did not contain any emotions as it was slowly emitted from within his mouth. Ha ha, clan head Yao Dan, the 2 Shi ancient god Jade is something that brings disaster. It will only bring a calamity to you if it remains in the Yao clan. Handing it to me in exchange for your safety might be a little better, right? Hun Huzi laughed. It was as though he did not feel the murderous intent surging within Yao Dan's eyes. Hun Huzi, you are acting too fearlessly. Today, I will first capture you and get the clan head of your Hun clan to come and bring you back. The expressions of Elder Wanwo turned completely gloomy as Hun Huzi's words sounded. A furious cry sounded. Vast and mighty Do Chi suddenly swept out in all directions. His body flashed and he appeared above Hun Huzi's head. A large flame wind gathered into a huge palm as it ruthlessly smashed towards the latter. It is almost time. Hun Huzi merely smiled faintly in the face of the ferocious attack from Elder Wanwo. He lifted his head and looked at the distant sky before muttering to himself. Immediately, a strange grin appeared on the corner of his mouth. The black flame deep within his eyes surged out wildly like a furious dragon, which had been suppressed for a long time. After the black flame surged, Hun Huzi's aura also soared suddenly. Bang! Hun Huzi waved his sleeve as he stood in the sky. That ordinary palm collided with the enormous wind flame palm. After which, everyone were shocked to find that the wind flame palm was completely devoured into Hun Huzi's upon contact. On the other hand, that Elder Wanwo, who had a shocking aura, seemed to have suffered from a serious blow. A mouthful of fresh blood was spat out and his body flew backwards. Finally, it landed miserably onto the stadium below, smashing and forming a huge deep pit in the process. "Ha, I have accompanied all of you to play for such a long time. Just treat this as some interest." Hunhuzi's long hair fluttered in the absence of any wind as he stood in the sky. Both of his eyes had already been completely covered by a black flame, giving him an exceptionally strange appearance. His faint voice resounded over the entire stadium as this occurred. 7-star Do Sheng. Everyone's expression had changed drastically at this moment. They looked at Hunhuzi in the sky with disbelief. The aura that the latter had emitted earlier had far surpassed Elder Wanwo. This fellow has actually been hiding his strength. Don't tell me that he really intends to snatch the ancient jade of the Yao clan? Yao Lao softly said. His expression changed as he watched this scene. Xiao Yan's expression had become extremely grave at this moment. Both of his eyes stared intently at Hunhuzi. Since the very beginning, he actually failed to discover that this person was hiding his strength. Even in his fury from having the embryonic pill being snatched away, he was actually able to suppress his strength. This fellow is really scheming. However, could it be that he really wished to snatch the ancient jade from the Yao clan with just his strength? Yao Dan's expression had finally turned completely dark and cold as he stood on the leader's seat. He slowly stood up and stared intently at Hunhuzi. He spoke in a dense voice. "Send the signal. Inform the Yan clan and the Lei clan. Tell them, we have found the perpetrator responsible for the disappearance of the Ling and Shi clan." Everyone had a change in expression after Yao Dan's words sounded. Even Xiao Yan's body trembled suddenly. They lifted their heads and looked at Hunhuzi in a shocked manner. It was really done by the Hun clan? Understood. Although those Yao clan's elders trembled after being frightened by Yao Dan's words, they still quickly took out a scroll and swiftly opened it. A spatial fluctuation quickly spread. However, this spatial fluctuation was about to agglomerate into a spatial tunnel when it seemed to have to disturbed by something. Immediately, it shook intensely. The tunnel, which had just been formed, disappeared in an instant. Many people in the Yao clan felt their hearts turn cold upon seeing this scene. Some of the elders were quick to react and hurriedly let out the emergency siren within the clan. Immediately, a commotion broke out in the neighboring mountain range. Densely packed Yao clan's warriors hurriedly broke through the air and arrived like a swarm of locusts. "Hunhuzi, what have you done?" An elder of the Yao clan cried out in a stern voice. "Oh, it looks it is completed." Hunhuzi smiled slightly while standing in the sky. He did not even give those Yao clan's warriors, who had hurried over, another glance as he spoke casually. "Nothing. I have merely locked the Yao clan's realm." A commotion was stirred below after these words sounded. Those various experts, who had come to observe the medicinal ceremony, had a drastic change in expression. They took out their spatial scroll and quickly tore it apart. However, the result was exactly the same as what had happened earlier. Something big is about to happen. Xiao Yan inhaled a deep breath of cool air. His expression had become unprecedentedly ugly. He did not expect that the Hun clan's target would actually be the Yao clan. Moreover, no one had expected that they would come when the Yao clan was holding the medicinal ceremony. Yao Dan's expression was gloomy. His finger pressed on a storage ring and directly shattered it into dust. The ring could specially transfer the fluctuation to the Yan clan's and the Lei clan's heads. Only the 3 clan heads could possess it. "Ha, clan head Yao Dan, there is no need to waste your effort." Hunhuzi laughed. Yao Dan ignored his words. His eyes stared at his finger and indeed saw that the fluctuation, which had appeared at that spot, had begun to randomly roam around like a headless housefly. Clearly, it could not be transmitted out of this place. Yao Dan's heart had completely sunk upon seeing this. "Hunhuzi, my Yao clan and the Yan clan has already built a spatial tunnel. If they discover that the tunnel has vanished, they will definitely know that something has happened to my Yao clan. The Gu clan will definitely not sit back idly and watch when news spread. If our 4 clans were to join hands, your Hun clan will definitely be destroyed." Yao Dan's heart might have sunk, but he was after all the head of a clan. He immediately recovered his calmness and spoke in a deep voice. "My Hun clan is able to eliminate the Ling and Shi clan without the Gu clan detecting anything. Naturally, we can also let your Yao clan quietly vaporize from this world." Hunhuzi spoke in a faint voice. "With just you? Yao Dan's body slowly rose into the sky. The frightening aura of a 7-star Do Sheng erupted without being held back. That powerful pressure was actually even stronger than that Hun Huzi. This strength was indeed worthy of the head of a clan. Elder Hun Huzi, this is a matter between your Hun clan and Yao clan. It has nothing to do with us. I hope that you will show mercy and allow us to leave. We will definitely repay you in the future. Those many chiefs and elders from the various sects, who had come to observe the medicinal ceremony, hurriedly cried out respectfully when Yao Dan rose to the sky. At this moment, they had also felt some panic. The previous example of how the Shi and Ling clans were completely wiped off allowed them to understand that they would definitely die if they were to be dragged into this matter. Ha ha, that is only naturally. Those who are not from the Yao clan can leave. I will not stop you. Hun Huzi smiled warmly and said after hearing this. Thank you, Elder. Many people from the various sects rejoiced upon seeing this. They did not dare to utter any unnecessary words as they turned around and rushed towards the entry to the Yao realm with all their strength. Xiao Yan looked at the backs of these people and frowned slightly. Having dealt with the Hun clan many times before, Xiao Yan naturally understood just how ruthless these people were. It was clearly impossible for them to allow anyone to leave. Ha ha! This thought had only just flashed across Xiao Yan's heart when countless of black light flashed over the distant horizon. Miserable cries immediately sounded. Howl, howl. Everyone were shocked to see an endless black flame seeping out from the emptiness while the black light flashed in the distance. Finally, it spread in all directions and covered this entire place. Everything became dark almost instantly. This is the genuine nihility devouring flame. Xiao Yan looked at the black flame seeping out from within the emptiness. His eyes suddenly shrunk. Little Yi had also opened its eyes within his body. That tender little face was unusually grave. Clearly, even it had sensed an intense danger. Hun Huzi was suspended in the sky. There was a monstrous black flame behind him. He smilingly lowered his head and looked at Yao Dan. Both of his arms were slowly widened. The smile on his face became increasingly strange. Yao Dan, I am honored to announce to you that the Yao clan is finished. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Continuing from the previous episode 644. Chapter 1573, Actual Form. The black flame blotted out the sun. This entire place was enveloped by it. Under the cover of this black flame, everyone below suddenly felt the Do Qi within their bodies beginning to gradually disappear. It was as though there was something invisible continuously devouring the Do Qi within their bodies. This discovery immediately caused countless of people to become terrified. From the fate of those who had attempted to flee earlier, it was clear that the Hun clan did not intend to leave behind any survivors. Hence, this entire mountain range had become chaotic at this moment. No one could have expected that an ordinary medicinal ceremony would actually end up turning into this. Be careful, the entire place is filled with extremely tiny nihility devouring flame. Even Do Qi cannot block this thing. Xiao Yan's hand landed on Yao Lao's shoulder. Pink flame covered the both of them. The fire lotus deep within his eyes rotated. Based on his eyesight, this place was current filled with tiny black light spots which could not be detected with the naked eyes. These light spots would land on one's body like maggots in one's bones. After which, they would continue to devour the Do Qi within one's body. In the face of this kind of devourment, it would be completely useless for these people to use Do Qi to cover their bodies. Those black light spots would quietly merge into the Do Qi defense the moment they made contact with it. The realm has been sealed. It looks like the Hun clan does not intend to leave anyone alive. Yao Lao spoke with a grave face. Are these people finally planning on acting after being quiet for such a long time? Xiao Yan frowned tightly. It seemed that they had terrible luck. They had actually walked directly into the hands of the Hun clan. However, they did not have any choice. Even if they could guess that the Hun clan would attack the Yao clan, they would not be able to guess that the Hun clan would strike at this moment, when it was most impossible for them to act. Looks like the low profile the Hun clan has kept during this period of time is related to this matter. They had also been unusually quiet when the Shi clan had vanished the last time. Yao Lao was a little vexed as he said. He had actually failed to consider this. Originally, he thought that after the Yao clan, Yan Kla and Lei clan formed an alliance, their lineup would cause the Hun clan to carefully consider their actions before they act. Unexpectedly, they had still failed to block the schemes of the Hun clan despite this. No wonder the Hun clan did not dispatch any experts despite seeing the Sky Mansion Alliance destroy the Hun clan. It is likely that despite being cautious of the GU clan, they were also preparing to attack the Yao clan. Xiao Yan also nodded. Now that this had happened, he had also gained answers to some of the doubts that he had before. It was not that the Hun clan did not wish to kill him. Instead, it was because the latter had more important things to do. Between the matter of killing Xiao Yan and dealing with the Yao clan, the Hun clan would naturally choose the latter. In their eyes, Xiao Yan might be strong, but he was still far from able to reach the level of the Yao clan. What should we do now? Yao Lao asked in a deep voice. If this situation today was not handled properly, the both of them would end up meeting a mishap. From the way the Hun clan was able to quietly eliminate the Ling and Shi clan, the former's strength should have far exceeded their expectations. All we can do is wait quietly and observe the situation. If the Hun clan really intends to attack, the Yao clan will definitely retaliate. At that time, we will take the opportunity to find a way to escape. Xiao Yan replied in a deep voice. He did not have some grand thought of rescuing the Yao clan. This was because they were currently unable to even take care of themselves. Where would they get the mood to bother about the Yao clan? Whether the Yao clan could overcome this great calamity would depend on their fate. Yao Lao also nodded quietly. Although he was also a member of the Yao clan, his feelings for them was far too thin. He might feel a little terrible that the Yao clan had met with such a disaster, but he would not demand that Xiao Yan rescue them because of it. In his heart, Xiao Yan's position was far more important than this foreign and cold clan. Yao Lao floated in the sky. He looked at the monstrous black flame in the sky that spread to the horizon. His expression was also extremely gloomy. He could sense an extremely terrifying aura from within. All members of the Yao clan, listen up. Activate the heaven-transforming Yao formation. Yao Dan inhaled a deep breath of air. A decisive stern cry resounded. This time around, he could sense a danger that he had never detected before. Such a danger allowed him to understand that the survival of the Yao clan would be determined today. The hearts of all the members of the Yao clan trembled after Yao Dan's stern cry sounded. The heaven-transforming Yao formation was the Yao clan's guardian formation. This was the first time it was activated since the ancient times. From this, one could tell just what kind of great danger had befallen the Yao clan. Buzz buzz. All them elders from the Yao clan rapidly shot out numerous light pillars that shot into this mountain range at this moment. Immediately, the mountain shook. Many huge light pillars broke out from the mountain. Finally, they entwined with each other and formed a huge strange formation. All the precious medicinal ingredients on this moment withered the moment this formation was formed. Endless energy erupted and poured into that large formation. Swish, swish, swish. At this moment, almost everyone from the Yao clan and gathered the Do Qi within their bodies into a light pillar, which shot into the huge formation from all directions. The light formation brightened and a terrifying pressure similar to that of a walking huge dragon that was in a slumber for thousands of years, was emitted. The entire Yao realm trembled intensely as this pressure was released. Vast and mighty energy continued to gather in the direction of the formation. What a terrifying pressure! By being within the large formation, even Xiao Yan's expression had become grave as he looked at the bright glaring huge light formation. This kind of pressure could likely be comparable with an 8-star elite Do Sheng. The foundation of this Yao clan was indeed extraordinary. This is the Yao clan's guardian formation. It has never been activated. Unexpectedly, this time around. Yao Lao's expression was complicated as he looked at the light formation and said, "It is rumored that this formation was created by the Yao clan's founding ancestor. A trace of his soul fragment had been left behind. If it is activated, it might be able to block the Hun clan." Founding ancestor. The corner of Xiao Yan's eyes twitched. The only one who could be called the Yao clan's founding ancestor was likely the elite Do Di, who had founded the Yao clan. Haha, is this the Yao clan's guardian formation? Its strength is indeed much stronger than the Ling and Shi clan. Hun Huzi looked at the somewhat frightening energy surging within the large formation below. He turned around in front of the many pairs of eyes and bowed towards the monstrous black flame. He respectfully said, "Nihility, sir, you might perhaps have to intervene in order to break this formation." After Hun Huzi's respectful voice sounded, it was possible to see that the black flame behind him had actually begun to wiggle slowly. The black climb climbed and slowly agglomerated into a human figure. Finally, it appeared in front of the countless pairs of eyes. Black flame covered that figure while many strange black symbols covered his body. His eyes appeared just like black holes and were filled with a terrifying, devouring power. He stepped on the black flame and stood in the sky. Due to him being covered by the black flame, his appearance was somewhat vague. However, waves of extremely ancient and strange aura slowly appeared in this place when it appeared. Woo woo! The nihility devouring flame all over the place emitted some strange whine after the black flame person appeared. It was as though they were respectfully welcoming their owner. Nihility devouring flame. Xiao Yan's eyes stared intently at seemingly demon-like figure. His heart suddenly pounded intensely. Given his understanding of the heavenly flame, he was naturally able to immediately identify that this figure was the actual body of the nihility devouring flame. The true nihility devouring flame. This nihility devouring flame has actually also formed a heavenly flame spirit. Yao Lao looked at Xiao Yan. His mouth was dry. This nihility devouring flame and the purifying demonic lotus flame in the demonic flame realm were similar existences. It was even a little stronger than the purifying demonic lotus flame. What a terrifying aura! This fellow is stronger than even Yao Dan. Xiao Yan licked his mouth. A great storm surged within his heart. This was the first time that he had ever met such a powerful heavenly flame. It was likely that this fellow had existed for an even longer time than the purifying demonic lotus flame. The demonic god-like powerful figure slowly lowered his head in front of the countless pairs of shocked eyes. He looked at the large formation with a vast and mighty strength below. Monstrous black flame churned intensely above his head. Finally, it turned into densely packed black fire rain that descended towards the large formation from all directions. Chi! White smoke began to erupt from the formation as the black fire rain fell. Everyone could sense that the energy within the formation was being devoured by the fire rain. Yao clan, you will still be able to survive if you surrender. We still have some use for your Yao clan. Black fire rain came pouring down from the sky. The lush green mountain range immediately turned yellow. It appeared as though all life had been devoured. At the same time, a hoarse voice, which caused even one's soul to tremble, was slowly emitted from that demon-like figure. It will not be so easy to swallow my Yao clan. Yao Dan's face revealed a ferocity at this moment. He let out a stern cry and countless of light pillars gushed out from the medicine mountain and directly charged into the formation. From the corner of Xiao Yan's eyes, he could clearly see that there was actually various different medicinal pills packed densely together within the light pillar. The frightening numbers caused him to inhale breath of cold air. It seemed that the Yao clan had completely used all of their collection. With the surging of a sea of medicinal pills into the formation, a decisive expression also surged onto Yao Dan's face. Tens of thousands of pills forming the sky. In the name of the pills, founding ancestor return. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Continuing from the previous episode 645. Chapter 1574. Yao Di's Soul Fragment. Bang bang bang. Countless medicinal pills rushed into the large formation from all directions. They were quickly turned into powerful energy. At the end, one could see that the energy within the large formation seemed to have turned into a liquid sea. Lightning-like loud sound was being emitted as it flowed. Founding ancestor return. Yao Dan's hands formed many seals. His expression was ferocious as he suddenly cried out sternly. Crash! After the stern cry sounded, a swirl quickly appeared at the middle of the formation. An endless amount of liquid energy continued to surge into it. At the same time, an extremely ancient aura also slowly spread from within the swirl. The swirl rotated rapidly before quietly disappearing. At this moment, a linen-clothed illusory elderly figure appeared. Buzz! All the members of the Yao clan suddenly felt their souls trembling violently the moment the illusory old man appeared. A kind of pressure that originated from their bloodline immediately caused the countless figures present on this mountain to kneel down. Founding ancestor. The many Yao clan's elders were so greatly affected that tears flowed from their eyes. Their faces appeared a little crazy because of the excitement. Under the stimulation of their bloodline, the figure was just like a god, which they could not offend. In their hearts, is this the Yao clan's founding ancestor soul fragment? Xiao Yan's expression was solemn as he looked at the figure. Even with his perfect heavenly state soul, he felt some difficulty breathing under the figure. This was merely a soul fragment that had remained for a seemingly endless amount of time. It was difficult to imagine just what kind of level a true elite Do Di would possess. Yao Lao's body trembled slightly. Ash stood beside Xiao Yan. He looked at the illusory figure at the middle of the large formation with eyes that were filled with fear and respect. Hun Huzi's eyes also became grave as he stood in the sky. The pressure that the illusory figure gave him was incomparably strong. This Yao clan was indeed not as easy to deal with as the Ling and Shi clan. Regardless of how it struggled, however, it would also have difficult escaping from the same fate. Oh, Yao Di. Those black hole-like eyes of the black flame human figure beside Hun Huzi also stared at this illusory figure. A moment later, he emitted a soft sigh with some unknown feelings. Unfortunately, the ultimate expert from back then is currently just a soul fragment. Founding ancestor, please bless our Yao clan. Yao Dan knelt down in the sky and let out a low respectful cry. Yao clan. The old man in rough linen clothes within the formation let out a low mutter. The long flow of time had left his little remaining memories to become increasingly blurry. However, it was fortunate that he still had a memory of the clan he had founded. Those extremely ancient eyes slowly swept over the area below. Finally, a mutter was emitted. It has actually declined until such an extent. An ashamed expression immediately rose onto Yao Dan's face after hearing the low mutter of the illusory old man. Although the current era was different from the ancient era, he did not voice any excuses. This is Nihility Devouring Flame. The illusory old man did not speak to any of the members of the Yao clan. He slowly lifted his head and looked at the black flame, which covered the sky. A lost expression once again flashed across both of his eyes. He waved his sleeve and a light appeared on the formation. Those black flames, which were adhered onto it while devouring energy, were being forcefully scattered by him. Without a complete memory and without a complete soul, your muddy state is just like that of a puppet. The Yao Di has actually also turned into such a state. It's just as well. By capturing this remnant soul of yours, it would at least surpass that of 1,000,000 complete souls. The Nihility Devouring Flame smiled faintly in the sky. His tone did not contain the least bit of fear and respect. His hand was extended and his finger, which was covered with black symbols, pointed below. Bang! The entire place immediately crumbled as the Nihility Devouring Flame pointed his finger forward. A huge black flame finger that seemed to cover half of the mountain range descended from the black flame, which spread over the sky. It ruthlessly pressed towards the formation. This entire space seemed to have completely cracked under the finger. The expressions of many turned ashen upon seeing this terrifying might. The black finger descended from the sky. However, it was just about to land on the large formation when the linen-clothed old man finally lifted his hand. A medicinal cauldron that did not lose to the huge finger in size appeared above the formation. The medicinal cauldron was covered with various mysterious lines. At a glance, it appeared as though it was real. An ancient aura spread from it. The huge finger heavily pressed onto the large cauldron. Immediately, a humming sound resounded across the sky. Grug. Some of the weaker individuals immediately spat out a mouthful of fresh blood under the frightening humming sound. Some of their eardrums were even blasted apart. Blood continued to flow out from their ears, giving them an extremely miserable appearance. The large finger scattered as the two collided. That medicinal cauldron had also become a lot more illusionary. The old man's figure had also paled slightly. Clearly, he had exhausted a great amount of energy. Just how many times a mere soul fragment can block me? The Nihility Devouring Flame laughed faintly after his attack failed. His finger continued to press on the empty air. Immediately, the entire area shook. A couple of huge fingers descended from the sky and continuously struck violently onto the huge cauldron. A couple of crack lines were actually formed on the huge cauldron as this earth-shaking sound appeared. Everyone from the Yao clan, pour all of your Do Qi into the formation. Yao Dan's expression had changed drastically after seeing that the Nihility Devouring Flame was actually unafraid of the founding ancestor soul fragment. He let out a stern cry. Immediately, the Do Qi within his body turned into a bright light pillar that shot into the formation. Countless light pillars also erupted from the other places. Immediately, the huge cauldron once again became real-like. Moreover, it had actually directly flew out of the formation and whistled towards the Nihility Devouring Flame in the sky this time around. Han Huzi's expression changed after he saw the huge cauldron rushing over. His body hurriedly hid behind the Nihility devouring flame. You have the strength of the Yao clan, so do I. The tone of the Nihility devouring flame was still calm. With a wave of his sleeve, the entire Yao realm immediately began to tremble. Everyone were shocked to see that there were dense black flame clusters rising from outside this formation. Finally, they entered the black flame in the sky. Immediately, countless of miserable cries resounded over this place. It's the descendant citizens of the Yao clan. Xiao Yan's expression changed drastically. Those densely packed light clusters encompassed countless of wildly struggling human figures. These people were all the descendant citizens of the Yao clan. The moment they were being sucked into the black flame clouds, Xiao Yan could see that their bodies were turned into blood, which were completely devoured. What ruthless method! He didn't even let those descendant citizens off. Xiao Yan clenched his fist tightly. There were at least millions of descendant citizens in this Yao realm. Yet, all of them were devoured by the Nihility devouring flame. Han clan, Yuru Han clan will be an irreconcilable enemy of my Yao clan. The shocking change outside of the formation was also detected by Yao Dan. His eyes cracked slightly as his vicious and mad roar resounded over the entire place. The Nihility devouring flame completely ignored Yao Dan's roar. He clenched his hand and a blood ball was formed. Immediately, it swelled at a terrifying speed. The members of the Yao clan could clearly sense a familiar scent from within the blood ball. Explode! The Nihility devouring flame waved his hand after the blood ball swelled to 10,000 feet. Finally, it heavily collided with the huge cauldron flying over. A bloodlight covered the entire sky at that moment. Everyone seemed to have turned deaf at that moment. However, the blood-red color, which filled their eyes, allowed them to understand that this extermination-like clash was not an illusion. Bang! An indescribable frightening energy attack swept wildly from the sky. Many crack lines were formed from the explosion upon contact. Finally, it completely disappeared under the wild devourment of the black flame. The remaining annihilation force swept down and ruthlessly smashed onto the formation. Boom! The formation trembled violently as this force swept down. A liquid-like energy filled it as it scattered at a shocking speed. The formation is about to break. Looking at the increasingly pale large formation, the hearts of everyone from the GU clan quickly became icy cold. They did not expect that this formation that was formed from the strength of their entire clan was actually unable to block this terrifying existence. The rough linen-clothed illusory old man at the middle of the formation also softly sighed as he watched this scene. His mutter drifted into everyone's ears. This calamity cannot be avoided. His figure suddenly rushed out of the formation after his voice sounded. It turned into an illusory ray of light that cut through the black flame cloud with a speed exceeding the speed of light. Finally, it shot into the body of the Nihility devouring flame. Bang! The collision between the two merely emitted a somewhat soft muffled sound. However, the body of the Nihility devouring flame trembled intensely. Soon after, his tone finally revealed a little fury for the first time. You! Damn old ghost! Disappear from this world! Black flame surged out from within his body in all directions. Immediately, a slight sound was emitted. It was as though a soul was shattered. The sound was soft, but the bodies of all the members of the Yao clan stiffened at this moment. They could sense that there was something which was quietly vanishing from their bloodline. Founding ancestor. Yao Dan's scarlet eyes dully looked at the sky. It was as though his belief had crumbled at this moment. Crack! The formation began to tremble even more intensely in front of the stunned expression of everyone from the Yao clan. Finally, it emitted a crack sound and exploded in front of many shocked eyes. The formation has been broken. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Continuing from the previous episode 646. Chapter 1575. Tunling, Devouring Soul. Even this Yao clan's guardian formation had finally crumbled under the frightening energy assault that could destroy the world. It turned into countless of light spots that poured down from the sky. The luster emitted from them highlighted the many dull and stunned faces below. Despite having used all of their strength, they were still unable to change their fate. Many people felt terrified and hopeless under that demon god-like figure in the sky. Xiao Yan's expression was solemn as he watched this scene. The dou qi within his body began to circulate quietly. A black light flashed beside him and the Northern King once again appeared. He also took a couple of steps back and stood beside Yao Lao. This danger was likely the most intense one he had ever come across. Even he did not have an absolute confidence to escape from this dragnet placed by the Hun clan. Yao Lao withdrew his eyes, which were looking at the sky. There was some moisture in them. Even though he did not have a deep feeling towards the Yao clan, the illusory figure from earlier was a godlike existence towards all the members of the Yao clan. Anyone with the bloodline of the Yao clan would sense an extremely important thing had suddenly disappeared after witnessing its complete destruction. You should leave first if anything goes wrong. The Sky Mansion Alliance cannot do without you. Moreover, you still have to rescue your father. Yao Lao spoke in a hoarse voice. Xiao Yan's expression changed slightly, but he did not speak. Those dark black eyes of his, however, revealed a determined expression. Teacher, be rest assured. Xiao Yan softly uttered those words after musing quietly. However, he did not know just what he meant by, be rest assured. Yao Dan, who stood in the midair, slowly stood up in front of the countless pairs of eyes. The disappearance of that soul fragment had caused a huge hole to appear in his heart. However, he was after all the clan head. Hence, he swiftly suppressed his lost feeling. A low voice resounded beside the ears of all the members of the Yao clan. All clan members, now is the time when the fate of our Yao clan will be determined. The only thing we can do is to risk everything to preserve our bloodline. All elders, fight alongside me. Human figures rushed out from the mountain range in all directions after Yao Dan's final stern cry sounded. There were not only elders of the Yao clan present. Even some of the younger generation of the Yao clan had charged forward with reddened eyes. They understood that if they were unable to endure through this calamity, the Yao clan would completely disappear in history. The Yao clan was their root. Once they lose this root, they would end up roaming around without a home. All the glory and pride that they once had would be annihilated. Charge! Yao Dan's body trembled as he looked at the densely packed human figures charging up the sky. Monstrous Do Chi erupted from within their bodies without holding back. Finally, it turned into a 10,000 feet large Do Chi pillar that whistled out. Its momentum was shocking as it rushed towards the nihility devouring flame in the sky. Swoosh swoosh. Countless of Do Chi pillars of different strength rushed forward together behind the 10,000 feet large Do Chi pillars. They were accompanied by a determination as they shot towards the nihility devouring flame from all directions. Xiao Yan's eyes became grave as he watched the Do Chi, which had covered the sky. This kind of mighty retaliation was indeed worthy of the Yao clan. However, that person was far too terrifying. From his guess, the actual body of the nihility devouring flame had likely reached the extremely frightening 8 or even 9-star Do Sheng class. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to destroy the Yao clan's guardian formation. Moreover, even the Yao Di soul fragment had been scattered. The strength of the Hun clan is actually this frightening. No wonder it was able to quietly eliminate the Ling and Shi clan. Xiao Yan clenched his fist tightly. Moreover, the nihility devouring flame was the only one which had appeared this time around. That mysterious clan head has yet to appear. Perhaps he was preventing the Gu clan from detecting anything. Even though this was the case, just this alone had forced the Yao clan into such a state. The strength that the Hun clan hid was really shocking. Hun Huzi looked at the bright Do Chi pillars that filled his eyes from the sky. His expression was slightly altered. If he was to even touch such an attack, it was likely that he would immediately be seriously injured. After all, this attack had basically gathered the full strength of the entire Yao clan. The eyes of nihility devouring flame beside Hun Huzi, who was wrapped within a black flame, also fluctuated slightly because of those black hole-like eyes. Clearly, even he did not dare to easily slight this retaliation from the Yao clan. His palms, which was covered in strange symbols, were once again extended from within the black flame. After which, they formed many seals with lightning-like speed. The black flame that covered the sky churned intensely. Finally, it formed 100,000 feet large black hole swirl. An indescribable frightening devouring force appeared the moment the swirl was formed. It erupted in all directions as it did so. Bang bang! In the face of such a frightening devouring power, the land within 100,000 feet immediately crumbled. Many 10,000 feet large crack lines spread from the ground. They were just like ferocious wounds, which covered this spacious area. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Many large Do-Chi pillars continuously charged into the black hole-like swirl. A low and deep explosion resounded within the black hole. Such a frightening energy assault caused even the incomparably large swirl to form some intense fluctuation. The black flame over the body of the Nihility Devouring Flame continued to explode and formed clusters of flames the moment the black hole fluctuated. His body staggered dozens of steps backwards. Han Huzi's expression changed upon seeing this. It is indeed not easy to deal with this Yao clan. That Yao Di soul fragment might have been scattered, but it had ended up causing the Nihility Sir to be injured. Now, the clan has gathered all of its strength and attacked. Even someone as strong as him has been pushed back. Han Huzi's eyes flickered rapidly. The body of the Nihility Devouring Flame also stabilized. The black flame lingering over his body had diminished significantly as compared to earlier. It seemed that he was not feeling good about the all-out retaliation of the Yao clan. The Yao clan is not bad. You are indeed much stronger compared to the Ling and Shi clan. However, this will not change your final fate. The Nihility Devouring Flame steadied himself and looked downwards. His ancient hoarse voice was slowly emitted at the same time. After the hoarse voice of the Nihility Devouring Flame slowly sounded, the black flame, which spread across the sky, slowly revealed many egg-like balls. Black flames surrounded the ball. Many faint black lights suddenly seeped out from the black flame cloud layer and rushed into that egg. Bang! Bang! Those densely packed light eggs suddenly exploded as the bloodlight entered. Immediately, many sharp screech resounded over the sky. Densely packed black fire figures poured down from the sky like a storm. After which, they crazily charged towards the mountain range below. Everyone within the mountain range had a drastic change in expression as they looked at the black flame figures hurrying over in close proximity. Immediately, they circulated their Do-Chi. However, their Do-Chi had only just risen when a black light flashed in front of them. Many people felt a pain in their chest. After lowering their heads, they saw that there was already a huge bloody hole on their chest. Fresh blood and internal organs shot out from it. What are these things? Xiao Yan's expression was a little gloomy. He randomly grabbed a black flame figure. These things possess the bodies of a human. However, those hollow scarlet eyes and the sharp wild beast-like claws allowed him to understand that there was quite a big difference between these things and humans. These things are able to devour the flesh and Do-Chi of people. Yao Lao exclaimed. There were also a couple of black flame figures that had been blasted into clusters of black blood under his feet. The entire mountain range descended into chaos in the face of these strange black flame creatures' attack. Intense fights broke out everywhere. Miserable screeches continued to appear while scarlet blood dyed the land red. Yao Dan looked at the medicine mountain, which had swiftly descended into chaos, from the midair. His expression was extremely gloomy. With a wave of his sleeve, frightening Do-Chi began to erupt and directly killed the hundreds of black flame creatures near him. After which, he grabbed with his hand and caught hold of a black flame creature. His eyes suddenly shrunk after he observed it for a moment. Finally, he violently inhaled a breath of cool air. Tunling clan. How is it possible that such a clan still exists? Weren't they completely eliminated during the ancient era? Tunling clan? Below him, Xiao Yan, who had heard Yao Dan's shocked roar, knitted his brow slightly. He mused for a moment while feeling some uncertainty. After which, he exchanged glances with Yao Lao and saw that the other party also had a lost expression. Clearly, the latter was also unaware of this so-called Tunling clan. Ha ha, you are indeed worthy of being the clan head of the Yao clan. Now, do you understand why my Han clan has attacked you? Han Huzi laughed in a faint voice. His eyes were extremely sinister as he looked at Yao Dan. No wonder your Han clan continues to exist since the ancient times despite the gradual decline of many clans. Yao Dan was incomparably shocked as he looked at the Nihility Devouring Flame in the sky. It appeared as though he had discovered some extremely frightening thing. Soon after, his body suddenly appeared below. With a wave of his hand, dozens of young members of the Yao clan were grabbed in his hand. Elders of the Yao clan. Self-destruct and destroy the realm. We can die, but we must ensure that the seeds of the Yao clan's bloodline survives. Many experts from the Yao clan in the sky trembled after hearing this heartbreaking stern cry. Grief and determination flashed across their faces. Between the destruction of the clan and sacrificing themselves to retain their bloodline, they did not hesitate to choose the latter. At this moment, Xiao Yan also inhaled a deep breath of air. He grabbed Yao Lao's arm. Both of his eyes were stern. It was time. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible.